welcome, willkommen to your reading with me, Natalie, spelled Natalee. If someone has sent you this video, they believe there's something valuable for you to gain through one or a few of the messages contained herein. If this is your first time viewing a tarot reading, just observe your own body, thoughts, and emotions for any reactions, subtle or strong. This means you are resonating with the message and can benefit from its guidance. If you'd like to know when I upload or live stream new messages here on the YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to this channel, watch Natalie, and toggle the notification bell. To connect on social media, you can follow me over on the TikTok, same handle, watch Natalie. Please block and report any other accounts. Lastly, always remember that time spirals. All of my messages are timeless, and you can learn more about me, my psychic work, how to retain my services, book your one-to-one session with me, all down below in the description box. Without further ado, let's open up your message. God. Thank you, 𝐸𝐸𝐵𝐸. Okay. What is the message meant to come through for it's one, right? Today. Ooh, this sounds ominous. See for yourself. See for yourself is your message. Okay, so we're going to open that up. See what that's all about. Thank you very much, 𝐸𝐸𝐵𝐸. You may have a nice rest of the day. Okay, so see for yourself. This is one of the messages that I wrote down without a date because I have little notes everywhere. I have so many. Thank you so much for the anonymous donation for the notebooks. I love them so much, from my Amazon wish list. So I have downloads written down on notepads on the back of little cardboard garbage boxes, and they're all over the place. They're in my emails, so that's why it doesn't have any time. It just has see for yourself. Anyway, okay, so see for yourself is exactly what it says. Something that you would not have possibly believed until you've seen it for yourself. So I feel, with my psychic sense, I feel like there is someone here that is a little bit pessimistic. A little bit pessimistic. They wouldn't say that. They might look at themselves as like a mental ego standpoint, and they might feel that they have rationale, that they are logical, that they practice their powers of deduction and making judgments on things. That's okay, because this person's about to see something for themselves. And like everything that I teach, everything that I show my acolytes, guys, so me pouring through all of these occult texts, right, since I was 15, there's no possible way that I could have really, I don't think that that's necessarily made me any more or better anything, because at that time I wasn't able to, like, you don't know what you don't know, you know. So I read a lot of it, but it's like not even sinking in until like now that my ability is caught up to like a certain level. So for instance, last night I was reading one about clairvoyance. This was published by, there's a lot of little secret occult societies, like the one I have over on Patreon, the 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚘 over on Patreon. That's like a modern day, very 21st century version of it, but people have been doing what we do over there, what I do here on YouTube over on Patreon, been doing that since forever. So some of these little groups publish little occult musings, and so I read one from, it's kind of eerie because the one I read last night, I started reading it maybe about 12 days ago, like 10 to 12 days ago. And this was published in Highland Park in the 20s. So this was like a small little local publisher, and this, I'm telling you, very occult obscura. So about clairvoyance, and I read, it's a 28-page pamphlet, and I read this, you know, because this is what I do. And so the first 25 pages, I would say it's all ego, all just, you know, and that's always like a huge red flag. If you're ever talking to anyone that's supposed to be spiritual or that's supposed to be a high level energy practitioner, let's put it that way, if they're purporting to be a high level energy practitioner or spiritual anyone, you see any hint of an ego, huge red flag. I mean, that's like a... So the first 25 pages, all ego. The last 2 pages were technique, which is what I was looking for. I'm like scanning for, this is what I am working my way around to bring home to you guys, is that everything I teach my acolytes, everything that we talk about, it's always empirical. It's always results driven. Even things like psychic ability, even things like psychometry, clairaudience, clairvoyance, even things like astrology, watching the planets, paying attention, caring about what they're doing week to week, all that. We still want results. We still want evidentiary support. We still want proof. I have a very scientific approach to this, and I enjoy it more that way. So I'm liking this whole see for yourself. I like that. You'd rather be underestimated and have a superpower rather than be overestimated and over controlled and over restricted. Like how people used to believe if you got a black belt, you'd have to register your hands with like the police department or something. When I was in martial arts, a lot of people thought that. That was like one of the weird little things that people thought. So we don't want that overregulation of psychic training, subconscious work, consciously moving into altered states of consciousness, all of like the really empowering things. So see for yourself. Someone's about to see something for themselves. This is exciting. I like this. I like this vibe. Challenge accepted. Tell me more about this. There we go. Hilarious that you've got the Hanged Man. Okay, so the man walks down the road and comes to a fork in the road and has to choose a path. They suspend themselves to get this 180-degree view of life and the world, seeing it from a totally different perspective before choosing a path, before deciding, I'm going to take this path, I'm going to take that one. Someone is going to see something happen right before their physical eyes, and it's going to change their mind about something. They're going to have a different perspective, and they're going to have their own experience, their own eureka moment. I'm taking all of this. We have the Page of Swords, we have the Magician, and we have the, come on, and we have the Ten of Swords. I'm not taking these came out face down. Okay. Watch this. Okay, this feels very much like the lion or the tiger or the beast or the predator animal, like just pacing back and forth, waiting to get out, waiting for their time, waiting to go in. Someone's just been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. Watching and waiting, watching and waiting, watching and waiting. Something's over for them. We're going to open up all of this energy, so we're going to get the details. But this person's been... This is like a cannon shot out of some mentality or some way of life or some part of their life into a whole new era. I don't think this is the same person. So I'm like mumbling. I don't think this is the same person. I mean, I don't have to talk like that either, but you know. Any other information? It's like someone's watching this magician. Someone's watching this very talented, skillful person, or maybe they're not skillful at all. Maybe they're just very charismatic. And they are in an industry or they do something they have to be very charismatic for. Maybe they're either going to be extremely skilled or talented and or charismatic and or it's got flair to it. You know, it's got some flair. Maybe they wear a lot of like rhinestones or something. It's got some like flare too. Okay, let's keep going. Tell me about this last row. Ooh. We're just taking the card that flipped face up because a bunch came face down. The one that flipped face up is the Fool. Congratulations. Congratulations. Put these guys back. And we have a bottom of the deck. That is now the Three of Cups, the Ace of Swords, and the Seven of Cups. Wow. Okay. Whoa. Almost got out from under me, but it didn't. Okay, so overall, there's gotta be... Honestly, I'm loving this Three of Cups with the Seven of Cups with the Ace of Swords, because it's like all of this gossip, all this confusion, all of this hearsay, all of this salaciousness, all of these gibber gabbers, all of this, you know, puff, right? All of this, maybe it is, maybe it's not. Oh, you know, all of that, whoosh, like a katana sword, cuts right through that, and you have the truth. You have what really is not. And there's no arguing that. It's self-evident. It defends itself. It shows itself. It's this inarguable truth. Clear, plain. And it's happening before your very eyes. Someone did not believe it. This could be your parent, and they never thought you were gonna do anything with your life or something. I don't know. But like, I know someone here doesn't believe what they're seeing, but they're gonna have to because it's happening. You know? Let's keep going. Alright, let's take a look. Let's take a look. Hold on. She's showing me Strider from Lord of the Rings. Very specifically Strider. This is weird. She's showing me that scene. It's like a very specific scene in Man of Steel where like the camera's facing this road that goes up, but then there's like another road that goes up, and it's sort of like layered. Like planes of dimension are sort of layered. And I think there's like a tavern or something on top. This could be someone that's sort of lost, but they're about to find themselves. They're about to find their identity. Like Strider, Returns a King, Kal-El. Well, I guess he doesn't know he's Kal-El at that point. Clark, learning that he's Kal-El. So this feels like the Magician. So if you're the Magician and you're living this very like maybe transient life, or this life where you're going from like the vibe from that part of that movie and the Strider part where he is Strider, it's very, fate had not yet affected their lives and plucked them from whatever they were doing. It's like that moment before. The moment before they get their identities. And then when they get their identities, they know their purpose, and everything else kind of clicks together. So this could be about someone could be viewing someone else getting their identity. Okay. Let's start with the Hanged Man. Tell me about the Hanged Man. But something about this is like unbelievable. More doubles. So we've just been getting lots of doubles since the Sagittarius full moon apparently. And we have the Three of Cups and the Seven of... Oh, there's another one. And the Ten of Pentacles. So Three of Cups, double Three of Cups, Seven of Pentacles, and Ten of Pentacles. This is positive. This is very positive. So the change in perspective, seeing it, it's good that you're seeing it for yourself. You would have never believed it. Whoever this person is, the non-believer, will just say. And they would not have believed this unless they had seen it like firsthand, or maybe they're a part of it in some way, shape, or form. But whatever this is, whatever the turn of perspective is, whatever that changes, it is changing their friends, their inner circle, but it's also changing, almost like this person could have worried or just been very hazy and unsure about maybe their friends, or investing with their friends, or some kind of joint venture endeavor with a friend. There could have been some, I'm sort of concerned about this. There could have been investments. I'm investing in this, putting into it. Maybe you and your friend opened up some kind of, I don't know, paint by numbers class. I don't know, insert it into your thing here. And that could have been like whatever the talk is about, or the worries, or the ideations going through, the fears, but also the hopes and dreams for the groups and the friends. And it could have all been very jumbled and very obscured from your more grounded perspective. Like you just really couldn't tell, But that's what has the Ace of Swords. So you are going to know this week. You are going to know, or whenever this, guys, I just got an email while one of my readings came through, true, point by point, and it was reading I did a couple of years ago. So I am not the timing psychic. I am accurate. I'm not the timing one, though. So a week, 2 hours, 10 days, 2 months, It's better than you thought. So whatever you're worried about, whatever you've been thinking about, whatever people have been talking about, it's better than you thought. Let's take a look at the Magician, the Page of Swords, this charismatic little sprightly energy over here. That Ten of Swords looks very gnarly, so they're going through some kind of birth canal of transition into their identity. What? The Seven of Swords? That's hard, man. Wow. Props to this Magician. I tip my hat to you, sir or ma'am, because this looks freaking hard with the Seven of Swords. This is like you came up against an impossible challenge and you had to figure the freak out. You had to Forrest Gump your way through. This is what I say. I Forrest Gumped my way through life. You're having to freaking MacGyver your way out of a Forrest Gumpy situation that you Forrest Gumped your way into. Got to Forrest Gump MacGyver your way out of it. Wow. So this Magician, this brilliant person, it's almost like they get their last tool, their last superpower through this last little challenge, this last obstacle. The 10 is like overcooked. That's like done. Dunzo. 10 swords. Look at all up his spine, all up his back, in his butt, in his neck, in his thigh. Like just last one. Last. So it's this last mental, like the Trials of Hercules, like the last, or the, what's it called? The Stations of the Cross. Man, I remember that assignment in school. That was one that I skipped because you guys know I went to like 6 different grammar schools in 8 years. I did 1 year of high school and I did like 2 semesters of college. So I'm not really like participated, invested in this, other reality. But the Stations of the Cross was one of those things that at the end of 1 year, the next class next year was going to do it, but I changed schools. And when I changed the schools, in that next class, they said, oh, the class behind you just did it. So I got, so there's certain, that happened a lot. So there are certain things that I didn't have to do or didn't have the experience of, like in school. And anyway, so it's kind of like that, like your own, pick 12 scenes of your life that you would engrave into granite in your mausoleum or your family mausolea. And, you know, this week you could be, or whatever this is for you, that's when you are overcoming like the last one that made you who you are, that really cemented your identity together. I don't remember which one it was for Kal-El, but think of your favorite superhero, think of your favorites, or think of your favorite people, reading biographies of people, reading memoirs. What was that challenge or the boxing match or the thing that that really cemented their identity to themselves first, proving to themselves that they could win the match, that they could do the thing, and then empowered them to then be honest with the world and to project their identity out into the world in like a strong, pulsating, consistent way. Because this person figures it out. This person, this magician person, they just... Something I like about this person is that, yes, they've been through a lot, but they've kept some kind of childlike quality or something that is very innocent. That's what allows them to have the flexibility mentally to be able to get out of these, their own little stations of the cross or whatever this happened, whatever their trials and tribulations have been to get to this point of self-actualization. Like that. Like it very much, like that cleverness. Let's take a look at the food. Tell me about this starting over. This is a fresh, clean slate. What do we need to know? Thank you. Oh. Double Ace of Swords. Again. 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 That's it. This Ace of Swords is it. This is, you will see it for yourself. You will see it. It will change the dynamics of the friend groups. All of the will be put to rest because there's no arguing with this Ace of Swords. Like it's there. It's, you know, it's not like that Shaggy song where he just keeps saying it wasn't me and the whole song is a gaslighting song. No. It's clear. And this clarity, you know, seeing it in black and white, you know, numbers don't lie. Looking at the real, you know, whether this is black and white words on the page or a printout or a conversation or someone saying how they really feel or an application, a document, something. It's just something very real and concrete, and it kind of resets everything. It resets the energy because the magician's going through something. They're building up, overcoming something, and then so they might not even look like the magician right now. They might look like whatever guy or like whatever girl, you know, and then they become like Kal-El. Then they have their identity and they put on their suit. Then they like, this is who I am, you know, fully formed, self-actualized, knowing thyself and fully operational. So this might take some time. I think it's hilarious that someone is watching something. They're watching this happening like from afar and they're like seeing it for themselves. So it's funny that we're talking about this person through that lens. It's almost like The Great Gatsby where you have dude that just writes about dude. I want to talk about the book I'm reading right now, but I don't want anyone to spoil anything for me because I'm such what happens. But it's not long. I'll finish it soon, so. Any other guidance? Ooh, okay, so we do. Bottom of the deck, you have the ostrich. The choice is clear for you now. Follow the wisdom and truth you feel in your heart. I mean, always. The choice is clear for you now. Follow the wisdom and truth you feel in your heart. I feel like that's more for the magician person to get through that last Herculean task, to self-actualize, to just don't give up on yourself. Don't ever give up on yourself. And even if you did for like 20 years, don't look at it that way. You were just in sleep mode. You didn't fully shut down. And now you're back. Everybody likes a comeback. We talked already about this on Patreon, about how you can, or maybe here too, about anyone that's canceled can be uncanceled. You don't have to stay canceled. Follow the wisdom and truth you feel in your heart. Connect with your heart. Other person here just has to, like, they're just here for the show, just to see that person following their heart. That's all. And that needs to be seen. Like, we need, guys, I can't believe there's so many billionaires in the world and no one is Batman. Let me just get through this video. So your other popper is the canary. Step forward now and sing your song. There is power in finding your voice. It's this Ace of Swords. So say what you got to say. Tell your friends what you got to tell them. Say what's on your mind. That is the ticket. That is the golden ticket. That is the answer. That is what sets this whole thing off. So just think about, what do Ernest Hemingway say? What's the most important thing you got to say? What do you have to tell the world? What about dude in Walk the Line, when he's like, you're telling me if you were dying in a ditch that'd be the song that you would sing, that same old song with the same old rhythm about how God's shining so bright and that you're just gonna shout it. I'm sorry, that was horrible. But you know, I guess I didn't have to last that long, but you guys know what I'm saying. Like, that's the Ace of Swords. You need to dig deep and find that. And say that. Say that. Send that in an email. Send that in a text. Or write that down in your diary, in your journal, whatever you do. Okay? Okay. I love you guys. Take very good care. I will check in on your energies next week. We have the Capricorn full moon. So exciting. We'll talk about it then. Until then, my loves, many beautiful blessings upon all of your beautiful heads, darlings. Mwah.